Hello everyone, this is Dan from Sporting Partners and welcome to this workshop slash seminar. Today we're going to talk about SMR, self-myofascial release. At the beginning I would like to tell you that this is first try of a video like this. I'm recording in my own gym, in my garage, so there's echo and I don't know if the sound's going to be as good as I hope, but hopefully you will get all the experience you would get in the gym. So hopefully everything's gonna be alright. If not, I'm just gonna be very sad. But hopefully everything's gonna go as I expected, and we can get to a theory. So this seminar, this workshop, gonna have two parts. The first part is gonna be mostly a theory about SMR. I will explain you the basics of SMR. What does it even mean, and what does it do in our body, and why is it so efficient, and why should we use it? And then I have a few tools right here. I have tools from our partner Swelltooth and Pro Training, and I have some tools on my own which I prefer. So we will go through most of them, and after this seminar and workshop you should be able to understand what the SMR is, why you should use it, when you should use it, and what equipment you can purchase, you can use, and how. That equipment, probably everything I will use in this video is in our gym, is present there, so you can use it. You can use it in our gym, or you can order it, you can purchase it on our partner issue sparring.protraining.cz. Alright, so let's get to the first part. As I said, SMR is a shortcut for self-myofascial release. So we can understand it's self, that means we doing it to ourselves. So there is no one else needed for performing this technique. So it's self-myofascial, so means fascia, which I will talk about later, but basically it's muscle covers. So fascia means the muscle part that we are trying to massage, and release, it's release. It means you could say as it also like relief, and it is talking about, or basically the meaning is the blood flow and the release of the tension and the stress, and basically a startup recovery process, or startup like our muscle, get some activation to our muscle and get them moving. So let's just start from the beginning. So probably the most beneficial, most efficient type of therapy in terms of recovery and relaxation is massage, right? But there is a reason why massage is so expensive, and you definitely need another person for a massage. There are some body parts that you can massage yourself if you are skilled enough, but usually, we should trust the professionals. But this method allows us to do the massage to ourselves. So the basic principle of massage, if we're talking about the standard massage, not any other specific form, the massage works with our muscles and applies different type of pressures from different directions, and basically it squeezes the muscle, it's stretching the muscles, it's shrinking the muscles, and working mechanically with the muscles to increase the blood flow, decrease the blood flow, to work with trigger points and other issues that can occur there. All of that can be done by SMR, and as I mentioned, massage is about pressure, so SMR is based on pressure. Everything around SMR is based on pressure. It only depends what tool, what shape we're gonna use, and how it's gonna react, how our body's gonna react to that shape, to that pressure, and we will get to that later. So the most simple example is to imagine that our muscle is a sponge. It's a big sponge full of water, and it can drain water, but it can also release water. So it can get very dry, it can get very wet, and usually I will talk about regular people, let's say, because most of you are from IT industry, you are sitting behind the table all day, and your muscles are getting sore, getting not really relaxed, but more like stuck in the same position. So a little bit of movement can really help them. But what's happening over there, the blood flow and the support of and the delivery and support of all the necessary essentials that our body needs to give to our muscles, like oxygen and other substances that are important. Uh, this flow is slowing down when we do not anything. It's also has something to do with epinephrines and all that stuff, what makes us happy when we are moving. But in the most basic way, when you do not do anything, the blood flow and the muscles are just not as high. The rate is very low, and our muscles are getting sore. Having sore muscle means, just imagine that the sponge is full of the dirty water from whatever you want. It can be from your car or from a whiteboard, whatever. It's just full of the dirty water, and I like to say there is waste in our muscles, right? There is a lot of waste, and we're just going to get rid of it. And that waste is not doing anything good in our muscles. And for athletes, it's very similar situation when we are talking about high level athletes, because after training, if they do not do their routines properly, it can the muscles can fill with lactate, with lactate, which is created from pyruvate after the ATP is all used, and we get about the uh, how is it called? I'm sorry, this slipped from my mind. So once we cannot use all the ATP, and the whole cycle is getting overwhelmed, we are creating pyruvate. So we creating oxygen without we create oxygen without the glucose. My my bad. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so let's get to the point. So our muscles are sore, are they are not ready to do anything, and they are full of that waste because you just didn't flush them. You cannot just flush your muscles like that. And SMR and massage in general, what they do uh, by applying the pressure, the sponge. Imagine what you do with dirty sponge. What you do first, you you squeeze it. You squeeze it. You put a pressure on it, and you get the water out of it. You get all the water out, and in the best scenario, you put some more water on it. You wash it, and then you let the fresh water to be drained to the sponge back. And this is exactly what's happening for our muscles. So as we are applying the pressure, as we are rolling on the roller, or when the massage therapists are doing the uh, whatever type of massage he's doing, mostly it's based on pressure. It's like sponge. So we squeeze the sponge, we squeeze the muscle, all the waste goes out, and this is what's coming, a fresh new water in muscle scenario. It's new fresh blood with all essentials, all the oxygen, everything is just so fresh, and the muscle is getting ready to either be active or just feel much better, because now it's not full of waste, but it's full of all the fresh stuff. So this is very basic explanation how this all works, and now I'm going to explain you what the fascia has to do with it. Because our muscles, as you know, muscles are made of muscle fibers. Those muscle fibers are millions, billions in our muscles, and in general, all the fibers are connected together to creating bigger and bigger fibers. And it's probably fiber. Fiber. I'm saying fever. That's weird. Alright, so muscle fibers. All the creating bigger and bigger fibers. And at the end of the chain, there's the whole muscle. And these are these muscle fibers. These muscles are covered in fascia, which is basically like a cover, and this cover is controlling the tension of the muscle. So every time we initiate a contraction or muscle release, the fascia is there to support and to do not all the work, but some of the work. So you can imagine how this fascia is affecting the overall muscle fatigue, the overall soreness, or stretch of the muscle, and we want to target the fascia because the fascia is the key to get to the muscle and actually do something with the muscle. And the other interesting thing, you can just imagine, like because all the fascias are connected together. So when we are working on one part of our body, well, we are affecting one area where fascia is placed. Fascia is everywhere in our body. But let's just say we're working on our calf. When we work on our calf, we are at the same time affecting our hamstring and everything about it. But that's not really the main point. The main point is the fascia is a muscle cover which is present during contraction and during the contraction and stretch, and that's what we want to target. So that's why it's self-myofascial release. There, my microphone just dropped for a few inches, so I hope you hear me all right. Let me just check real quick. Yep, I'm still on. Okay, so this is the very basic explanation how this all works and how we can use it. As I already mentioned, when we're sitting in the chair, our muscles are getting sore, and by massaging themselves, we wake them up. And what wakes them up? The flush of the waste out of the system. It's not out of the system, but out of the muscle, and the new blood with the new essentials in the system. And there's multiple ways and multiple times we can use the SMR. It can be either as a regular, let's say a recharge, a restart. Let's say you're working the whole day and you just don't feel good, your body is sore and just want to do something. You probably do stretching, but stretching is not very good idea in the place because you are just sitting and stretching. Static stretching while you are cold is not very efficient, so you're like, what can I do? And you can do SMR because you can do SMR whenever, when you're following the right patterns and the right routine. You've probably seen in our trainers, and I will show it today again. You should be able to do anytime, anywhere. All you need is just a roller or any SMR tool, and you can just do that to wake your muscle up, to basically increase the blood flow, to feel a little bit better. It will help you to release some ephedrine, so you should feel, you should even feel like mentally better, get a better mood. So that's a big thing. And then of course doing your training. And usually I recommend to use SMR whenever you feel like, but in terms of training unit, it's very good to use it before the training as a part of the warm-up and as a part of activation, because as I said, you can start with SMR while you're cold, because during SMR you are able to wake up the muscle, warm up, get them ready, and the SMR, if it's done right, it has the same or even better results than the stretching itself. Because when we are stretching, we're basically trying to do the same thing, but we are doing it very aggressively. You know, when you're trying stretching, let's just imagine it's like a band, right? And if the band, the colder the band is, the more rigid it is, less flexible it is. Am I right? If you just like a rubber, and when it's cold and you're trying to stretch it, you can tear it very easily. But once it's getting warmer and warmer, it's more and more flexible. And this is the same thing with the muscles. So stretching can be even dangerous when we're doing static stretching, when we are cold. So that's why I recommend SMR before training. That's number one. Number two is very good activation, because you actually massage your muscles and your muscles are waking up in a very, very pleasant way. It also depends what pressure we prefer, what roller we use, but usually we can just do it as we feel like. So if we feel, I'm a little bit more sore today, I'm just gonna do it lightly, and it will still have the effect. So uh, so it's better than stretching. It's very good to substitute from stretching. It's good to warm up, and it's very good activation before training. Uh, Before training, it's very good to do the routine a little bit faster, because as we're trying to get our muscles ready, we also need to work on perceiving the signals from our surroundings, and roller can do that to the muscle very well. So the muscle is aware. So we even working on our neuromuscular activation. All right. So, and the second time we can use SMR is after training. And now we just need to see the difference between doing SMR before and after, because before we're trying to activate, we're trying to restart, we're trying to boost our system to be ready to get to the training and get to the main part. After the training, it's very important to do SMR after cool down, because when we're trying to do the SMR right after the main part, our body is still the blood pressure is higher. We are ready to go. Our muscles are waiting for what's going on, what's going next. What I need to lift in a few seconds. I'm going to run. What I'm going to do. The muscles they are not confused. They are just ready to go and ready to do their work. So we got to let them know. All right, now it's over. That's why it's called cool down. You just gotta cool down. You gotta chill. You gotta sit. You gotta wait. You can breathe. You can do a little stretching. That's also very good. Filler for the time that you were cooling down. But it is very important to cool down, because once you cool down, basically it's not like it's frozen, right? But your system is getting slower, getting colder, and that's the time when, again, the lactate, as I said, all the waste, all the bad things that you get, because once you're exercising, there are certain cycles in your body, and something leaves a stuff in your muscle that you just don't want there, because they're causing soreness, fatigue, and other not very pleasant feelings and functional disadvantages. So we wanna again restart, but we wanna do it very, very firmly. We wanna target the groups that we were working on. So we can start a recovery process. We can start a blood flow again, and we can start in the way that the muscle is basically relaxed, and it's, as I said, as we get massage. So we can really play with it like that, and you can even do that after, if you have a very hard training and you you were working your back chain and you just really hit it really hard. You had a very hard productive training, and you feel, oh damn, I'm gonna be sore tomorrow. You can do SMR right after training, and you can do SMR before you go to sleep. You can do SMR in the morning, and you can just work with it as much as you do. Okay, so now we kind of know what is SMR about, what it means, and what it does and can do to our muscle, and how we can use it. Let's get to the most fun part, which is the practical part. I have a few tools right here. I'm just gonna. Alright, now we know a theoretical area of SMR. We know what it means, we know what it does to our muscles, and how we can use it, to improve our training, our performance, and when we can use it. Now let's get to the fun part, which is practical part. This one's gonna be a little bit longer because I want to really go deep to the different techniques of SMR with various tools. So we will see how it will be. But I will start. I will start with the most basic, variation, which is a roller, foam roller, or cork roller, like this one. This one is from Speltus. This one is not foam. This one is cork. It's kind of like, it's not as hardened as lumber, but it's pretty tough. So I'll use this one as first. Then we have different tools. I have SMR stick. I have foot rollers. I have balls. So we can get to all of that. At first, I would like to basically go through the whole routine. You probably have already seen it, but I do not want to do the same thing all around. So I will basically do a whole routine for the first time, and I will use all the equipment I have here that I would use in my case. So if I have to prepare for a specific training, I will just pick whatever I feel like I want to use. But before that, I'm just going to go through all these tools and show you the basic approach of their usage. So I will start with the roller. So as we know, we can start from our feet. We can start from our feet, and we can just roll our feet very firmly. On our feet, probably the better choice is any type of ball or foot roller. We'll get to those. We can go from the side to side. Let's say I'm trying to get ready for training, so I'll go a little bit faster. We can even go on the heel like that for various injuries caused by hit heel. You can really use this one, but you gotta be careful with your pain management. This one is pretty simple. You can even stretch it a little bit like this to get your toes activated. We get slowly to our Achilles tendon. The important thing is the Achilles tendon is the only tendon that can be massaged on our body. Maybe there are more of them, but in terms of SMR and rolling and using a foam roller, the Achilles tendon is the only one that we can massage. We always want to work with the pain management, and basically customize the massage to ourselves. And it's basically the main rule, or like the basic approach, is to divide each bigger muscle to two halves. So right now I'm not going all the way up and down. I can do that if I wanna save some time, but it won't be as effective. So it's really good to just go on a half and really play with it. Of course, you should change the angle to really get it from all sides. If you want to be very proper, I'll get to the second part. If you want to be very proper, I would recommend to go for 4 slides for each. But it can get really long. So let's just do 2 on each and do it really briefly. And I really recommend to basically adjust the routine according to your training. So if you know you're going to do a certain training, you will adjust the SMR to it. So you're not going to spend so much time. Let's say you're going to do a deadlift only. Let's say you just have practice deadlift and rows. You're not going to spend as much time on calves, for instance, but we will focus more on our hamstring and our lower back and our lats. And we're not going to be focused on our front as much. So you just need to adjust it. There are three types or three forms of SMR in terms of using the tools. The first is a pure it's pure constant pressure. So I'm just standing on one point. Usually it's very good for trigger points. So when I feel a pain right here, I've probably found a trigger point right here. I'm just gonna manage the pressure and breathe to it. I can roll just a little bit, but mostly it's just about the static pressure. That's the first one. The second one is, of course, rolling. So rolling from side to side. That's why most of the tools can be rolled, unless you have like a trigger point pen or something like that. And the last one is breaking fascias. So basically breaking the muscle covers, which is done also by kind of rolling, but rolling your body from side to side like this. And there are just some body parts you cannot do that, or it's not just as efficient. Very good body parts that you can do it is, of course, calf. You can do it on your hands, on your hamstrings, on your quads a little bit. You can do it on your arms, and you can do it on your thighs. That's what I like, and of course on our groins. And everyone has its own kind of routine and their own method that he prefers. So you just gotta work with it and find what is the most beneficial for you. I have mentioned trigger point. I will slowly get to hamstring. Again, I will just go on half. I mentioned trigger point, and trigger point is a point that triggers something. And usually for you, the most important information is that it triggers the pain, it triggers the shortening of the muscle, usually a whole muscle head, and it just causes pain, soreness, and it's affecting the function of the muscle. And some trigger points can be very, very, very serious, and it can even extremely reduce your ability to do certain motions. And just a quick, I'll just finish. Oh, hamstring right here. I'll leave on it for a bit. Okay. And a trigger point to imagine how does it work. The muscle fiber is consists of two main parts, actin and myosin, and you can imagine the actin looks like this. It's just like a string, which is going to the cover like this. And as the muscle is moving and there is contractions and stretching, these muscle parts are sliding in and out like this. But when something happens, that something means there is a lack of oxygen to not perform. There is not enough oxygen to perform this tiny motion. All the fibers do that, so it just in huge amounts of billions of slides like this. And once the oxygen is not there is not enough oxygen to do that motion. It gets stuck like this. And there's also trigger points can be a reason of many injuries due to overstretching. When you stretching very aggressively, what will it do with it? It will probably tear apart. It won't. Sometimes it will release, but mostly it can hurt you. So sometimes when you feel sore after training and you're like, damn, I'm gonna stretch it out, and it'll be fine. The SMR is better solution, because SMR, again, what SMR is going to do, is just going to put a pressure on it. It's going to squeeze and release, and it will help to mechanically get rid of the problem, the trigger point, or chemically in terms of it gets the oxygen there, so the muscle fibers can be released. So that's what trigger point is, and usually you find trigger point very easily. You're just sliding, and you have trigger point alarm in yourself because you were just sliding, and once you are and you just feel the pain in one special spot. Most of the time it's a trigger point. Okay, now we get to our glutes. To higher part, there are more ways how we can work with our glutes. The one is just continuing with this sliding, which is kind of like, I don't really use it as much because I don't really feel I don't really feel the massaging as to be as intense as I would like to. So what I do, I work with my upper glutes and my transition to my spine a little bit. And there is a little sweet spot right here before I reach my spine and above my glutes, and I'm just sliding like this a little bit. I can go from side to side. Ooh, to just get the pressure. But how we can reach our glutes, especially gluteus medius, and basically all three gluteal muscles, is to get to this position. And right now we opened the whole area here. All we can do, we can just we can just turn like this, get the sweet spot, and now we can again work with it. Right now I'm really sore, so I can just leave like that and put a static pressure on it. I can go from side, just working with my weight a little bit, or I can even roll. Ooh. And again, I can be straight like this. I can get more from the side. I can even go like this. It's really up to us what we want to work on. Just gonna like let this for a bit. I'm just gonna check if we are on. Oh yeah, we're on. So, alright. So these are our glutes. Now we can move to our back. Very important thing, and basically something you should be aware of and very cautious about is rolling our lowering rolling our lower spine, because as we know, spine is in the middle of our back, and we do not want to roll. We don't want to apply SMR on tendon, except for Achilles tendon and bones. So we don't want to slide our spine, and we just want to target the muscles. But the back is kind of it's kind of glitchy. So I'm just going to show you how you can do all of that. So at first we are on our lower back muscles, and we can get to those to get before static pillars right here, and just leaning on the side. And you will know it as you get there, because there is just a sweet spot, and we are rolling, or we can just apply the static pressure. We can work with our hand a little bit, but be careful. Always have at least 3. I prefer 4. Sometimes if you need more pressure, I can just do this, and I can roll just a little bit. You see this micro motion? That's all I want to do, because as I'm trying to get straight, I feel like I feel spine over there, so I don't want to get to the position when I'm lying on my spine. Now I can roll just a little bit, and once I hit my ribs, that's the whole range I want to go. And again, as I hit my bone right here, my hips, I don't want to go lower. Alright, so once we get this, this is when it changes. We cannot continue up here because there are ribs right here, so you don't wanna roll your ribs. So what we're gonna do, we need to focus on our rhombic muscles first. Rhombic muscles are between our scapulas, and we cannot access them like that, because if we would just go in the middle, we would be just lying on our scapulas, and we would be again. I'm sorry. Okay, I hope the audio is not getting messed up. So right now I'm on my scapulas, and I'm not able to roll my rhombic muscles. I can even go on a side, because I wouldn't be able to target any muscles there. So right now I need to go in the middle, because I need to get to those rhombic muscles. But how can I avoid to get on my spine? Because as we know, the spine is kyphotic and lordotic. So when I'm in my chest kyphosis, the spine is allowing me to go there. So I'm not actually going to be rolling my my sternum. are just fine. I'm sorry. Okay, so what we can do, we can open up our scapulas to get the rhombic muscles, and how we can do it, we're gonna give ourselves a hug, like this, as much as possible. And right now, my scapula is opened, and I can nicely slide in and target the rhombic muscles. So we got our whole back, and the last one that we need to do from this position on our back is our neck. I prefer just this regular start when all we do, we're just trying to get our chin right here and get back. I kind of like to do like a little rolling. I would just kind of slow. Sometimes all we need to do is just lie like this, or you can just move roll a little bit and be in this position. Then I like to go from side to side very slowly. Stop for a few seconds. Either stop for a few seconds, and again. And then you can work with it as much as you want. So this was all on our back. Now let's get to our side. We're on the side. We can stay on our backs a little bit. As I mentioned, a lat, latissimus dorsi, it's a very big muscle on our backs, and we don't want to omit that during our massage. So we can target it by getting on our side, and as we're right here in this position, you can kind of use our senses to get it. So as you get right here, there is a kind of like a muscle string right here in our armpit, and you can know as you start on your ribs right here. I really cannot grab anything right here, only my skin. But as I'm doing this motion and going up, I can now feel and see that there is like a strain, like a wing. That's why it's called a wing, right here below my armpit. And as I go higher, I can feel my shoulder bone right here, and I can feel how this is not a muscle. I cannot really grab it. So this is mostly this area. So this is how you can find yourself. And at first, I just recommend to just lie on it. It's important to not lie on your shoulder, because then it wouldn't be very comfortable, and it could be also dangerous, especially for someone who has high mobility in their shoulders. So I would just get like this, get open, and work with the string that you found. So I get the string motion. Once I feel comfortable, I can use my hand, and I can really work with it as much as I want. Be careful about the range. I'm just going to present. Once I get right here, this is not what I want to get, because right now I'm on my shoulder. Not want to get there. For people who are just not comfortable or not as confident about that, I prefer the first part, which is the basic pressure massage, because then you won't get to any critical spots. As we're on the side, there are two things I want to mention. The first are these muscles right here, mostly known as brakes and change of directions, because for basketball players, for handball players, and for tennis players, and all the sports, when you're changing direction and doing brakes a lot, these are getting smoked. So how we can work with these, again on the side, and there's a sweet spot right here, kind of like a soft spot, soft line going down to our ankle. We can target it like this. We can again put some pressure on it, and we can really work with it. Okay, so that's all for our side, and we can slowly move to our front. But before we do that, I just want to mention the IT band, which is one of the tendons. It's more like a ligament that is going from here, from my hips, right all the way here, and it's basically connecting our quadriceps muscles, our front thighs with our hamstring, our back thighs. And this band, we need to be flexible. We need it to be as flexible as possible because it carries a lot of responsibility connecting these two muscles. And a lot of people do a mistake that they are rolling this side and they're getting right here in the middle. I'm saying, you know, in the middle and rolling. You might feel it's sore and you should do that, but don't do that because there was a couple of studies. What you can do, you can just get up front or you can get a little bit more on the back, but don't get specifically in the middle on the side like this, because there are multiple studies that proven that massaging this IT bands is making more rigid because the band is feeling pressure and it, you know, and basically our body feels like I gotta make it stronger, I gotta do something with it, but this ligament, we don't want to get it stronger. We need it to be flexible and we need it to be reactive. So don't roll this side and this side, and we can get to our front. Alright, as we are up front, there are a couple of things that we will work on. From our ankles up to here, there is nothing really to work on because there's just our chin and we can't really roll that one. So we can work with our quads a lot. These are very juicy. We cannot really work with our hips right here. Maybe a little bit. We can work with our groins. I'm sorry, our groins or adductors, and we can we don't really apply SMR on our belly or in any area around here, but we can apply it on our chest and on our arms. All right, so let's get to it. We will start with the quadriceps, which is probably one of the most common. I'll go like this so we can see me well. Okay, so as we start right here, again, we want to start in the middle, or it's basically up to you how you want to start. I like to start in the middle, and again, there are multiple ways how we can do it. We can do it either like this, with the hands up front and our second knee on the ground. But if we feel super good, if we feel like we don't feel any pain, we can do this, or we can apply more pressure on it. I will just stay like this because I'm sore enough. If you have double roller, the long roller, you can actually put both legs on it, but the pressure is not as high as you probably would like to. Again, let's just go in halves. Get on the side a little bit. Because quadriceps is a very wide muscle, so we want to make sure we get it from all sides. I can turn just a little bit. Okay, I'm getting to the second part. Ugh. Again, I'm working with the angle, and very efficient. Let's say again, form that we can apply here is the static pressure, because there is a lot of spots I feel very high tension. So what I can do, I can just right here. I can stop here. This is my sweet spot. There might be trigger point, may not. It's just sore and it's probably shortened a little bit. So right now I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna flex my knee like this and get this motion, which helps me to apply the pressure and stretching the muscles at the same time, which also works very well in this combination. As we get to our glutes, make sure you're not on your bone, but right here there's also a sweet spot. You can just wait here for a few seconds if you feel like. Those are glutes. Those are quadriceps. I'm sorry. Let's go to our groins. The principle is the same. We start right here. Again, we start in the middle. We go from side to side. We can work with angle by getting our ankle either a little bit lower to get an angle. You see, you can work with an angle like this. Or we can, if we cannot sore and want to target the higher joints more, we can just lift it like this and work with it. Again, we can get even to the middle of our body. Right here, I prefer again just a static pressure. Okay, so that was it for our lower part, for our lower limbs. Okay, now let's just get to the chest. The chest, you can do it on the floor, or you can do it about the wall. I like to use the wall variation because usually it's just enough pressure that you need. So let me just get right here, or I can just demonstrate it right here. Okay, so now as you can see, the roll is going to be in this position because we are trying to get the rolling on our chest. And again, we're trying to stretch. We're trying to stretch our arms, so we really stretch our muscle a little bit, and then we just slide on it. So if I will demonstrate right here. That's one variation. The other variation is right here. On the ground it would be the same. On the ground it would be the same, but a little bit harder to. So again, make sure you don't get right here on your shoulder, because right here you're getting yourself in danger. You're putting yourself in danger. So let's make sure you are staying on your chest, and again right here, more on the middle chest. I've been doing this one a lot when I hurt my left back, and it really helped me. Another is our bicep and triceps. You can do all of that off the wall. So we can just go like this, and we can just slide. Just go like this, and we can just slide. And we can do the same with the tricep, and we can just slide. But the question is, if there's any situation that we need to work with that on our arms. Okay, that was the roller. Roller is very good in it. You can basically go. I just did my whole body. I feel ready. I feel prepared. Hopefully, I didn't forget anything. And you can also use it for different mobility exercises. But this one was only about the SMR. Okay, and we can get to air tools. Okay, there was an SMR thing with a roller, and now we're gonna move to this nice little box because we have plenty of stuff that we can use here. I will probably start with balls, so I will just get all the balls out, as they are probably the most easy to get, and you can really work with them. Basically, you can do anything with the roller, just when it's probably lower, not lower quality, but it's just a little bit different. So we gotta look at it. So I have a tennis ball right here. I have a cork ball right here, and I have a golf ball right here. That's probably it. I also have this spike ball, like a hedgehog ball. Another one. I have a lacrosse ball. I really like that one. I also have a baseball, but I can't really find it, and I have a dual ball. This one is special, so I'm just gonna leave it for later. Alright, so probably the most efficient thing and most known thing you can do with the balls is to get yourself an SMR focused on our feet. So I'll just let's take this one, because this one is very hard. And again, you can, right now we have a ball, so it's very hard to just go straight line up and down, but it doesn't really matter. So we can just go a little circles. We can do like eighths, or we can do from side to side like this. We can just put a pressure on it. The harder the ball is, the better, not the better, but the the better the static pressure on the certain area is, rather than if it's soft. Because if it's soft, let's say tennis ball, if I take a tennis ball is good just to get like a soft massage and really sliding from side to side to get, to get the wake up call. But if I'm gonna try to put a pressure on it, it's there, but but in comparison with this ball, with a racket ball, or with a cork ball from Sveltus. Let me check this one. I haven't checked it yet. It's just something different. And if I just put a pressure on it, it's a whole different story. So I think it's really good to have at least a tennis ball and then another either a gridded ball, or just a ball that's harder. It's not as soft as tennis ball. And we have this one. We can basically do everything as we do with a roller. I'm not going to do the whole session. I'm just going to show the main ideas. Before I do that, I just wanna compare these together, because it is important to understand what is the difference, and which one you could use for what. So a tennis ball, probably the most common. I think everyone should have at least one, because you can do basically anything, but it's really soft, so it's really good for like for soft. It's also good for example, for soft tissue work, but also for a little bit deeper SMR. But again, it's really soft, so it's probably for beginners. And but is it probably the easiest variation? These are spike balls, hedgehog balls, are very good for our feet or anywhere that we're trying to work more with our receptions. And these are very good after certain injuries, just to work with the soft tissues, and overall it would just with just the upper area of the muscle, because these usually are not as hard. They are really kind of soft, so you cannot really get any deep SMR stuff with these. But I have them basically mostly because of the activation, because they're really good as an activation tool for training to our feet, because our feet are basis of everything that we're doing, literally and rhetorically. So another one, we have these two. These are very similar. This one's actually better. This one is better because it's light. It's very light. It weighs nothing. It's probably even lighter than a tennis ball, and it's really hard. It's really hard, so we can really do basically anything with this, from the regular SMR rolling to the static pressure massages. And I really like the size, because it's just like it's a little bit smaller than tennis ball, which I think it's ideal for most of the stuff. This one, the only advantage of this one is that it bounces more. But these two are probably similar. This one is regular lacrosse ball, and I could also recommend baseball, which has probably the same. It's as hard as this one, but it is bigger. And yeah, I don't think there's anything special about baseball, except for its hardness. And this little guy, a golf ball. This one is very good, because it's small. This guy is small. It's a small ball, which can get to almost any area you want, and it can be used as a specific focus, trigger point. Let's say targeter, whatever. You can just, if you find a trigger point that you want to target, you can use this one. And for your feet, very good. I would like to just carry this one in my bag for any cases. I'm carrying these two, everywhere I go, just for any case, because I can really do anything. Because I didn't have this one. Now I'm gonna carry these two because this one is light. This one is light. This one is kind of heavy. So I was gonna carry these two because I can really use them for anything. These are upper level, lower level basic SMR. Okay, so let's get to the routine. Again, let's just use photos because I really like it, and yeah, it's good in the hand. It's actually a little bit smaller. No, it's the same size. Okay, so again, you can mostly you can put static pressure on anything. So okay, I'm not gonna use this one. I'm gonna use the tennis ball. Right now, I can do this. Okay, so I will use this one. As a static pressure, it's probably gonna hurt anywhere, but you can really work with it and find the sweet spot. Then put a pressure on it. Again, you can roll. Be careful about your knee do not get right here and around this level. Again, you can use it very well to those spots where the roller couldn't hit as hard. For example, this part is kind of thin, so we can get to that like this. Woohoo! And right now the ball is just fitting into the line, so that's really good. You can use it. It's very good. Sometimes I use it when I'm just sitting. When I'm sitting, I can just put it. I can just find a sweet spot and I can just sit on it on my chair, and I'm just sitting and I'm working with it. I'm breathing, and even sitting on it will help me to release some tension, or release a trigger point, or help me with blood flow. Then it's glutes. Again, it's very good. It's very good too for glutes. Again, because you can really target the spot in the best way you can. Right here, I would just stay with a static pressure. With a static pressure, I can just do a little circles right here. Circles. The biggest advantage of balls next to the roller, you can do circles with. Okay, once we have this one, I wouldn't really use it for a lower back. Maybe again for a static pressure. Static pressure. So you can just get there and you can just work with it. I wouldn't rely on it. I would just get in this position and kind of work with the pressure and control it. But what you can do with it very well is to use it on our rhombic muscles. So we can just get it again to the line. Now we have to again open up, and now the ball is nicely fits between the scapulas, so it can really be there. This one is really hard. So it make it much tougher to handle it. So I'll just use a tennis ball, which should be much more friendly in this situation. Oh yeah, it is. And again, I can even slide on it, or I can just get in from side to side a little bit, or just the pressure. Again, a latissimus, I don't think the ball is a very good choice for it. And we're getting to more fun part, neck. I wouldn't really work on it, but what we can do, probably the best SMR, the best SMR form you can do with a ball is to get your traps released. The best thing ever. So if you have only one reason to get a ball to SMR, it's this. How does it work? I'm trying to push the ball towards my trap. I can start right here, and I can go all the way down until I reach the hard spot, and I can even work from all the way on the top a little bit backwards to get this tension. And what I do, I'm just getting the spot. I make my arm loose, and I'm just pushing against the wall like this to create pressure. Then I'm just change the spot a little bit, and I really push against the wall like this, It'll be painful, and it can cause you even a headache because of the release of the trapezius. But you know, it's a stress muscle, and it's just so great. It's so comfortable and beneficial once you go through that. You can do what I've done on the floor with my rhombic. You can do the same thing right here. You can just put the ball right here, open up, and now I can slide nicely right here. And again, you can work probably in this way. Hopefully I haven't forget anything. You can use it anywhere on the body. I would prefer feet. Feet are very good. Glutes are very good. The side of the chin very good. Traps are very good. Rhombic muscles. The big muscles are not as good. I would prefer roller on those. Okay, we are getting to the last part of this workshop. We've been working with our roller, we've been working with the balls, and now we can look what else I got here. At first I want to mention this little tool, which I got from Sveltus again, and this one, if you can see it, it's like a ball with the handle, and you can really use it to get the massage anywhere you want. You can just put it in your backpack, and I really like it because you can really massage yourself. Right now I'm doing hand, but you can actually do it anywhere. As I'm trying it, it's mostly again the same benefits as the ball has. This has as well, and you can actually roll with it much better. So you can get it to your glutes, of course on the ground. You can get it again on your chin, on your cuff, Achilles tendon. We can basically work with it anywhere. If I need to. Okay, if I gotta be honest, this one is probably the best for arms and for those areas that you can access very easily, and you don't need to do as deep SMR as you would like to, because I think like going on our working on our glutes with this ball and this, I will always prefer this one. But using it for arms that's very good, because the biggest issue I've always had with SMR was I was just lazy about trying to get the equipment to work for me on my arms, and like this I can really get anywhere I want on my arms and really do the work. I can even work on my neck a little bit. Neck is good, traps are good as well. Traps are good, okay. Traps are very good. Traps are very good, and it's very good too. I believe if I had someone else who would do that for me, it would be probably good as well. But I just wanted to mention this one because I got one from Slotus, and I think it has its place. But I would probably prefer the balls even over this one. Okay, we got these three. These three are similar in their shape a little bit, and these two are described or determined as foot rollers, and this one is called dual ball. I'll just put it right here, and let's just start with this one. This one is basically a smaller roller with spikes, which supports the receptions of our feet. So it's very good as a foot roller. As a foot roller right here. So we can use it. It's very good. You cannot really compare it to the ball because you can really get the whole feet engaged. Whole foot engaged. Sorry. So this is probably the biggest deal that you you can do with it. You can also, you can do the same thing with this one. This one should be, no, this one is not, but there are even those that can be frozen. They are filled with liquid, and you can freeze those, so they are frozen, so you can apply frozen therapy and do SMR at the same time, or you can make them, you can warm them up so they are warm. This one is probably gonna be very similar. Oh yeah, this one is not softer, but the shape allows me to go, allows me to target the one line much better than this one, because as you can see, the grids are, this one is just basically the grids right here, and the shape, which is like this, allows me really to work with the middle part, and even to get the right angle to engage and to target the sweet spot, probably the sensible part of my foot. This one is good as well, but this one is more advanced. I'll go with this one. Dual ball, you can use dual ball as a foot roller too. Again, the same benefits as these two have, that you can just roll and get the whole feet. The disadvantage is that the shape is not as friendly to foot as these two are. As we get on the ground, we can use all of these as a smaller roller, so we can do again the whole thing. I really like these for my Achilles as well as for my calves, because the shape and the size allows me to really work with it and target it more than with a roller. So definitely a calf thing. Dual ball is probably going to be, dual ball is perfect for my Achilles, because it's perfect for a calf and Achilles. Probably this one is probably the best for Achilles and my calf, because of the shape, because Achilles fits right here, and you massage both. You massage Achilles and the area around, and as you get to the calf, you really get these two stuck in, so it really goes deeper and helps to massage the calf in a way that these two cannot. So definitely go for it. Again, we can use them for a chin like this. Not important to mention the hamstring. We can even work with it. Again, dual ball. It will be again good for our hamstring, and specifically this area, because it's small, it's rigid, it's hard, and it can really good target it can really well target the muscle lines, and you can roll on it. These two are probably not as efficient because they are soft. Let me just try that. Yeah, they are really soft. So the dual ball is a winner right here. You can also use it for glutes as well, but I would prefer, yeah, you can, but I would prefer the balls. Lower back, very slowly, very slightly. Probably the biggest and most known way how to use a dual ball is to our rhombic muscles, and those muscles in between our scapulas. Again, we give ourselves a hug, and now we can apply the pressure, or we can even slide on it. Okay. It's really good because it fits perfectly in between the scapulas. Because you have scapulas, you open the scapulas, and there is a spine in the middle, and there are two lines you can engage. Again, I prefer variation. I prefer the variation where I am against the wall like this, and I can just get it right here. Give myself a hug and slide like this. It's very good for our neck. Again, you can lie on the ground. You can get under your neck. this one is smaller, but probably this bigger one can be a very good tool here. Oh yeah, this one is good. This one is good from side to side. If the yeah the shape here is not as friendly, but this one is good. This one is good for this one as well. But again, we can work with it. We can play with it. We can use these to our lecithin as well. If we get on the spot, again to make it more spicy, because because as you know from physique, the smaller the pressure point is, the bigger the force. So that is very good. Again, we can use it. You can use it on our chest. You can use it on our chest. Oh, okay, we're on. Yes, we're on. So we can use it on our chest. We can use it on our arms, and basically chest is probably the best. Yep, I think that's it. Again, we can use it anywhere on the bigger muscles. So dual ball is, for me, is a very good deal. Foot rollers, it's more advanced stuff, but again, very beneficial. Now I just wanna show you one technique I never seen before, and I really like it, and it's breaking fascias on our groins with a roller like this. It looks kind of funny, but it's very good. You need to try that. And as you're going up and down, and you're basically lifting your ankles like this from toe to heel, you breaking the fascias, creating the tension, and like this you can go all the way up. And I just love it, and I also like to just create a tension. So get ready, tension, try to squeeze it and release it. Love it. The last tool I have here is SMR stick. I really like this one, as I am a high-level athlete and I'm traveling a lot, and sometimes it's just easier for me to grab this instead of a roller, because I can substitute all of my SMR needs with this one plus one ball. So when I'm traveling and I need to travel light, I usually I don't take a roller because the roller is just big. So I take SMR stick and I take one of the balls, which covers everything I need. Sometimes I take SMR stick, one ball, and dual ball. What you can do with it, you can basically if you get right position, it is important to not flex the muscle. Perhaps if you try to do this and you're trying to flex it like this, it won't be as easy to massage, and it won't have such an effect. So it's very good to sit down and get it loose. And now I can massage it like this. Again, the same rules. I can start from the top, a half, side. I can get right here. I can make it loose again, and basically do that like this. As I said, I really like it because it's very practical. It's very practical. I can use it almost anywhere. I cannot really use it on my glutes. I usually do it. I do my glutes. I usually do my glutes when I'm standing. When I'm standing, I'm just making this leg loose, or I get it right here. Get there. Groins are an issue, but again, you can get there. The only bad thing about the SMR stick is that you cannot really get on your lats. You can just do it like that, but that's not it. But if you have a teammate, you can always do it with your teammate, so you can do it for someone like this. So this is SMR stick, and my final recommendation, what I like to have. So if, let's say I'm not a freak, as I am, and let's just say I would purchase only the most important, I would definitely start with a roller, because roller can give me everything I need in the necessary amount, let's say. Then I would probably follow with a ball. So it could be a tennis ball, racket ball, it can be a spike ball. So I would add a ball to it. I would, these two I'll probably enhance with a dual ball, and then I would just play with it, depending on your needs, depending on the sports you play. Uh, so just to get the whole set right here, I would get a roller, I would get a ball, I would get a dual ball, I would get one smaller ball, one spike ball, softer ball, and a stick, and of course a foot roller, like this. But as I said, there are different effects, and you can use all of those in different ways, various ways. So it really depends on you how you want to use it. Uh, so to close this workshop, I hope you've learned a new thing today. You learn how you can use all of that to put your training to another level, to improve the quality of your life. Uh, you gotta understand that you don't even. This is not just about perform. I'm sorry. This can be used. This can be used simply as a stretching, or as an easy session during the day that can help you to kick off your organism, to get restart, to get ready for something, not even sport activity, but as I said, just after work when you feel sore, tired. This will give you a boost. This will give you an energy injection. So hopefully you learned something new today. Just to get a summary, SMR is self-beneficial release. That means that you massage your own fascias, your muscle covers. Our muscles work as a sponge, so as we are doing all things around all day, either sport activity or sitting behind a table, our sponges, our muscles are getting all the waste, and it's staying there, and we just need to flush the waste, the bad nasty blood. We gotta get rid of it and get a fresh new blood with new essentials to be ready to perform or to do whatever we can. It's very good substitution for stretching. I would probably say I would switch for stretching any day, and you can use it. You can use it as a preparation for a training, as a recovery startup, basically after cooldown, or you can just use it as an easy session during the day. It can substitute a massage from a therapist, and the most basic tools are roller, ball, dual ball, foot roller, or even SMR stick, which all you can purchase on sparring.protraining.cz and use code 2020. There should be 30% off guaranteed for you, so make sure to take advantage of it. If you have any questions, you can add below in the comments, or you can just reach me on my email address, daniel.zak@sparring.cz. Thank you for your attention, and can't wait to see you in our gym. Have a great day.